What's up there, podcast? It's been a while. It's been a while since we saw one another, and I want to thank you guys for supporting me on my journey. Of course, I know you know we're in season 2. It's Up There podcast. As of now, man, we clicking at high cylinders, a lot of big guests, a lot of great conversations. With that being said, make sure you head to Patreon and be a part of our community. If you're watching this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share, as that keeps us in the algorithm and keeps us in a good place as it pertains to our business, right? From the center of my soul, man, I've been on a journey, been blessed, highly favored, but also going through a few things that I think it lend itself to some great conversations, and we'll get into some of that here in a bit. Again, housekeeping. Come to patreon.com. Make sure you comment on the videos that you like. I'm not asking for any artificial commentary or artificial likes, but what I do notice is people will actually like a video, like an episode, but not hit like on the video and hit like on the episode, and that's detrimental to the business model. And so I have to now approach this with a call to action, right? And tell the people who support me to make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and also tell someone that Loon is live and we catching a vibe, right? There's a separation happening in this business and in this game. As we get further and further into this content era, there is microwavable meals and that's slow cooking. And this happens to be slow cooking. This happens to be the highest level of conversation, peak perspective. This happens to be one of the only places where you can come and get real deal, bird's eye view of a scenario, in my opinion, right? And so if this is not for you, I'm not forcing anyone to hit like, I'm not forcing anyone to watch videos, but those who do enjoy it, do us the biggest favor and support us any way you can. Come to patreon.com, join the Discord. Make sure you join that. Also join the community. We're very active in the community, and we want to bring things to you guys from a different level at this point. So again, thank you. You guys have changed my life. You guys have helped me recognize some of the superpowers that God has given me, and I couldn't be more grateful. The first thing I want to talk about is there's been a situation in Atlanta that's taken place in between Lil Baby and YFN Lucci, with Young Dro and the YSL RICO trial in the backdrop. The culture has took me down a dark hole because we can't seem to understand that real beef don't age well. It just feels like people want us to continue to beef. They want black men for their entertainment. Again, there's so many layers we got to get to with this, right? I mean, it's just so many layers. Even when I hear people talk about the Larry Hoover situation, anybody with any decency, because everybody peddling this street shit ain't handled on the internet, and content ain't street shit. But if you pay attention and you listen close enough, they'll blur the lines. Oh, this is street shit, this is content, but it's street shit. Ain't no street shit content. And anyone playing in the middle of the road deserve to get hit by a car. You understand that? And it's the big dog talking to you. Don't nobody hate me but my baby mama. And that's cause she dug past the gold. You understand? So you got to realize when I'm speaking to you, homie, I'm gonna give it to you like they should have gave it to you where you came from. And can't nobody dispute it. But we gotta stay away from people who wanna bring street shit into content and turn it into content. Ain't no such thing. But I will admit there are people that's allowing for those things to take place, and I ain't got time to be Superman. See, I took my cape off. Yeah, I took my cape off and put chrome hearts on. Yeah, nah, man. I used to be Superman. I used to come around and try to help everybody and save everybody and get a game to everybody and watch for this and watch for that, till I realized wasn't nobody watching for me. Till I realized wasn't nobody looking out for me. Man, listen, this is real talk, man. And it breaks my heart because I'm in this industry, dog. And it's one particular person I got a lot of respect and love for. And I can't even tell him the things that people told me about him. And it really hurts my heart. And the reason I can't is because I don't want to ruin the day with that kind of shit. Because I don't think I would want someone at this point in my life ruining my day with bullshit. But there's also a scenario where if I'm helping a that don't like me, or if I'm helping they got things to say about me contrary to what line I'm pushing, probably should let me know that. So at some point, I'm gonna let the homie know. But I hate to look like a hater. I hate to look like I'm gossiping and spreading shit. I hate to be that because I know what I look at them like. So I just hold it down and know the truth will reveal itself. But once I care about you, I don't want to see a way down that road not knowing you with the enemy. Because they don't have your best interest. Matter of fact, they're only using you to their benefit. And when you're not around, they're speaking about you very detrimental. And as it pertains to me, I don't move like that. What I say behind your back, I say in your face. And what I say in your face, I deal with the consequences of that. But Lil Baby, first of all, let me speak about Lil Baby. I was just with Lil Baby, Nashville date. Tour is doing well. I think it's understated what Lil Baby's able to do. Lil Baby comes out, he doesn't really need the dancers. He doesn't really need all of the bells and whistles. Now, that gives him a lot of room to grow. Because at some point he can start to do that and it can elevate his show. But right now we're going to deal with the fact that he's able to sell arenas out. 18,000 people, 20,000 people, and it's one man on the stage. Not only is it one man on the stage, I hear a lot of times from my counterparts up in New York and a lot of my hip hop heads and how they speak about this so-called mumble rap era, or so some of these people from the South where they can't understand them. Listen, I've witnessed this young man come out on stage without the backtrack, rapping his entire verses. And I think there's a level of respect from the MCs in the culture, from the performers in the culture, people that participate in live events. I think there's room for us to celebrate that. And so I want to point that out without all the bells and whistles being the headline of 18, 19, 20,000 people. He's not up there setting himself on fire. And these people are going word for word to the point where after the show, you know, we go back into the backstage into bro room and I asked him, bro, can you hit a crowd? He was like, hell nah, I got them in-ears in. So I'm saying, I'm sitting next to Sid and Mohawk. I'm saying, bro, these folks singing this shit word for word, homie. When I say word for word, bro, I wanted to just grab my phone and that be really my fault because I don't bring cameras with me. I don't bring like all of that kind of shit with me because I ain't really one of them kind of, although I'm powerful in media, I need to have a team with me to handle that, but I need to be able to send them out the room. Yeah, because everything talk about ain't for the camera. I don't need cameramen all around. That's what I don't like about you podcasts too. Everywhere you podcast show up, you got a camera all in the house, all in the dressing room, all in here while I'm hiding the money. You got cameras everywhere. Man, cut some of them cameras off. I'm trying to holler at you about something. Right? Don't see this. What I think people is fucked up at. Just because it's performative don't mean it's productive. So a lot of these from the podcasts and content, they come around you damn near performing. That shit ain't productive. I need some game from you. I'm running around getting a whole bunch of money. I need to know what on with this money. How we figuring it out? What's the next move? Y'all want to play and make content all day. I need to holler at about, man, what you do when you made your first 3 million? How you get from up under this? How you get from up under that? How you feel when they ain't doing this for you? Should I push a line? Should I let it go? Should I be a company boy? It's so many things that I gotta undress, and I don't need the camera around when I'm bearing my soul to one of you bitch ass that I thought was cool. And excuse my language. You know it's just podcast, right? So bro told me he didn't, you know, the end is he didn't even he couldn't hear the crowd, you know, because he's so focused on making sure that he's rapping the shit right. But I'm like, man, them folks really with that shit like word for word. And so I want to celebrate, baby, and they always look out for me. Shout out C-Bo, shout out to the whole gang. Man, I get that. I got several different packages. I got the baby them sent me the package, the backstage shit. P sent the package, VIP shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of love on that side, and I think it's imperative that I show that love back, and I stand on business with those gentlemen because they've never done nothing but be good to me. To see more crowd participation at his show, just so the fans can know, bro, this what it really looked like with this dude. See, it's a gift and a curse being able to do it by yourself like that, because those who understand business can understand the power in that. But those who understand narratives and internet shit, they may not understand the power. So what I would suggest is much more crowd participation. Bring more from the crowd up here. Bring more up here saying this one-on-one. It's you. Go on, do your thing. Or competitions, contests, things that just get the crowd involved where people can actually see the excitement that's overflowing from the fans at a Lil Baby show. It's like something that I'm not sure people outside of the building can understand. There is not many rappers that can do that. You might got Lil Baby, Rod Wave, Kevin Gates may be one. I'm not sure if he's doing the big arenas, but I think Gates can do it. And I'm just talking South people. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people, even people with millions of views. It's different to have tickets sold night in and night out. I think it's understated. But these dudes end up bagging out, and for me, man, it rubbed me the wrong way because my name was in the middle of that. And of course, baby them know like I'm solid, so you know it don't affect our relationship. But I just don't like my name even involved in that kind of shit. And I got the plug on so many people in the industry. They just ruined the relationship with me because I can never make another phone call for you on no occasion for no reason. I don't give a fuck if you say you got $2 million. I can't make the call. You got to figure that out some other kind of way. Because my name and face is so clean that I don't need nobody coming around me that can f that up. I work too hard to be a real a businessman, a daddy. That's another thing we gonna get into, the ability for people to play with you as a father and as a man in your children's life. The lowest level of human being, scum of the earth, plays with a man that really takes care of his children and try to paint him as anything other than a stand-up, outstanding father. In particular, it'll be the women that got multiple baby daddies. And several of them don't do anything. And the one that does something, they'll find a way to misconstrue, miscontextualize what the man has done and presented and offered to the family. They'll tear down the whole building just to see him with nowhere to stay, even if it affects everyone else that eats off of it. But we'll get to that when we deal with DDG and his situation, because I got a lot to speak about. But I wanted to make a public service announcement that I'm not able to make phone calls for people in my town anymore. I didn't even do it at first. This was just a very special occasion. It hit me out the blue. And I kind of figured that, yo, these dudes do the booking shit, but I should have looked. They do mid-tier, low-tier shit. They don't really do the superstar. So I should have knew. I shouldn't have put myself in there. And it ain't no hard feelings. It's business. Business is business. I don't play with everybody got to put their money together shit. That ain't my thing. That ain't my thing. It's a reason you don't see nobody with me. I ain't borrowing. I ain't pulling from no. I ain't begging from no. I ain't needing to be in no presence. I don't need no game from no. I'm one of the highest level thinking in America, excluding nobody. Excluding nobody. I'm one of the highest level thinking in America. You sit me in the room, I'll figure it out. I don't need all that around me. And it be 100 want a picture with the artist like they the ones done it. You dig? Pull up, it's 75. They got 2 to book the nigga. And when a get to the venue, all 75 of them want a picture. Man, y'all got to cool it, man. Beat it. You dig? But this is a public service announcement, man. No hard feelings. And you know, you can take it how they want. You can't get mad at me because I don't want to make no calls for them. Y'all done that to my brother. It's over. Don't never reach for me. It just ain't gonna happen. Right? But I would suggest that people who have not seen Lil Baby as he's been on tour, he's on the Wham World Tour. He's not only going in the States, he's going international with it this time. This is Baby's second, third tour back to back where he's servicing his fans and allowing them to feel some of the music that's out and be involved with his performance and enjoying what he's bringing to the table. Also, if I was y'all, I would get an after party because like I told them dudes, if nothing else, I would have done it just for the look good. You claim you get money, you claim your building always sold out. I would have done it just for the look good, and then that would have invited the other big boys to come down through there. See, you think word don't travel? You think word don't travel that, yo, man, I was down in Nashville, couldn't even come up with this, and they were blowing Loon up about it. Next thing you know, they bagged out. Like, bro, y'all want big artists, you gotta really come with it. You can't play this little game that is playing, and Loon don't play that game. So that's just a public service announcement. Again, go and get your tickets to the Wham World Tour. He is out there everywhere doing tremendous. He's performing all of the hits, all of the classics that you love, and he's interacting with the fans. And so I would suggest you do that. Now, what I do want to talk about is Lil Baby on his tour went to his hometown of Atlanta right before he came up here to my city and had a monumental concert. All the bells and whistles, all the vehicles, the ballers, the bosses, the bad right? All his constituents were there. And something took place there that, if you ask me, was the first step to make this shit great again. I definitely want to send a salute to Wolfpack Music Group and all of the people that was involved with making something like this happen. A very, very monumental situation took place in Atlanta. I want to do some context setting before we get into the conversation. Let me just set full context of what many are calling one of the most unexpected moments in recent hip-hop history and why it carries weight well beyond music. On January 31st, rapper YFN Lucci was released from prison, and this was after serving 4 years on a gang charge tied to a broader RICO case in Atlanta. His legal team struck a plea, and importantly, Lucci did not cooperate. And I want people to know that this still holds culture currency. I think people are starting to confuse the fact that taking accountability and responsibility is the highest form of adulthood. And there's been a lot of mix up on the internet and in the culture in which a lot of people who have been on the other side of not cooperating has been celebrated. And sometimes they're not celebrated, but they're tolerated. And so it may make you think that the currency attached to keeping it real is vanished. And I want to let you know that that is so far from the truth. YFN Lucci came home. Again, he did not cooperate. From the world that he comes from and we come from, again, that just holds a certain amount of gravity. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with YFN Lucci or have been sleeping under a rock, Lucci has been entangled in a years-long, sometimes violent rivalry with Atlanta rapper Young Dro. This was just not music. Prosecutors alleged a targeted jailhouse stabbing of Lucci, orchestrated by affiliates of YSL, and this allegedly is a group tied to rapper Young Thug, according to the DA in Fulton County. The footage was played in court in the now infamous YSL RICO trial. This is a case that dominated headlines in 2023 and 24. This is one of the biggest cases in history, the biggest case in hip hop history. And this reshaped how America sees street organizations and the music industry. And meanwhile, Young Thug was in jail as well. So Lucci and Thug is in jail. And I think this is very imperative for you to remember when we get to why I think that this is one of the more paramount things that took place in the culture in recent memory, is because YFN Lucci and Young Thug was in jail, both of them. They effectively crashed the whip. I just want that to be a side note as we move through this. Young Thug reached his plea deal. I think this was last fall, and he's serving probation now for about 15 years. And he remains a powerful, polarizing figure, especially in Atlanta and in hip hop. Now, with that being said, you may not know Lil Baby and Young Thug's relationship. They're like brothers, if you ask me. Thug was instrumental in Baby getting in the game, helping him, and I'm sure Baby have supported Thug as he's walked down the YSL RICO trial. We've saw Thug tweet several times, whatever Wham say goes. If you paid attention to Thug, you've heard him say, whatever Wham say goes, meaning he's co-signing what Thug is, he's co-signing what Baby is saying. Now, what really would have told the roof off if Thug would have been able to come out. But what we're talking about today is at Lil Baby's Wham World Tour in Atlanta, rapper YFN Lucci was brought out on stage. Let's take a look at that clip. I want you to listen to how the crowd is reacting. Pay attention.
Some real Atlanta shit, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who with me on some real Atlanta shit. That shit be like way bigger when we be together though, right?
There's so many layers to this, man. Number one, shout out to Baby. This is a real boss move. This is one of the scenarios where you can look back and say that it took someone like Baby to do this right here, along with the homies in the background, Wolfpack, all these in the background that played a pivotal role in just trying to make Atlanta great again. This is a common theme I hear around. Some of the real ones down in Atlanta said we gonna make Atlanta great again. That don't mean we gonna accept everything from everybody. Yeah, that don't mean that the doors of the church are open and everybody can come in. But what it does mean is that we pushing positivity, right? We pushing peace and positivity. And also salute to Lucci. Lucci went and done his time, got involved with all that, came home solid. And so we applaud that. I want to also let people know when they say that Hot Thug gonna feel about this. Baby is Thug. They part of the same crew. It ain't no Baby crew and Thug crew. It's their crew. They damn near one. They just two bosses. So bosses got their own lineage and their own shit going on, but these ain't having no, you dig? Man, these folks here on the same page like the signature and the date, man. You understand me? Yeah, you know when you sign a contract, the signature got to go next to the date. These on the same page like the signature and the date. And what I do know is when YFN Lucci and Young Thug was in the beef and there was all these different altercations and shit happening, what was tweeting and all this shit that later ended up in court. All these blogs like Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, Double XL, all these blogs, BET, Complex, all these shits posted. Every time these young men beef, they posted it. I didn't see nobody post the fact that Lil Baby brought YFN Lucci out and they're pushing peace. And I was telling the homie, it's cause they ain't for us. Either it's they ain't for us, they don't understand us, or they don't know the gravity of the situation. But I do know this, us killing each other just ain't white people entertainment. You got some black people not only profiting, but they publicly posturing for black folks to continue to beef and go at each other. This is a thing for people. This is entertainment. It creates engagement, but you got to know the backdrop. If you don't know the backdrop, you don't know how important it is to see something like this take place and why the culture don't push it. Why ain't these blogs pushing it? These same blogs that was built up off all the beef, why they don't post it when it get like this? We'll set that to the side. I now want to get into why I believe it was so important and some of the things of my perspective, right? Number one, as I said earlier, real beef don't age well. See, it's the opposite of a steakhouse. You know, you go in a steakhouse and they say, man, hey, man, this piece of beef right here been sitting 30 years. It's very tender. See, in a steakhouse, when you let beef sit, it matures into flavor. It tenderizes in the flavor. When you let beef age in the streets, it gets weaponized and passed down generations to generations to generations. Here's a up thing I seen. I just knew the culture would be proud of that, and I'm sure a lot of us was. Let me not take from the moment and act like I didn't see a bunch of real ones celebrating and saluting what happened, because there was a list, a lineage, a community of people that was proud and pushing the fact that, yo, we pushing peace, is coming together, make this shit great again, bring back real shit. There was a lot of that. There was a community of that. But the people that's at the top of the totem pole as it pertains to media, they didn't celebrate it. And this is why it's important to have people like me in position that'll speak to it. Because nobody else gonna speak to it on our behalf, dog. And you ain't gotta wait for me to tell you, look around. Scroll down to some of them pages and see, don't they see standing on YFN Lucci car? Or some of them pages and they see what Thug commented on YFN Lucci Instagram post. Just go pay attention. And so I want to celebrate the fact that we're in a place where level heads prevail. Now, you ain't gonna see me group it out or do too much. It's just like, yo, we're making a truce. Now, I thought that wouldn't nobody be mad but Fulton County. I just knew black people was... I'm thinking, would nobody be mad but Fulton County? Because it's just stepped on what they had going on and every narrative that they was painting every time they got a chance. This just stepped on that. But I look up and it's some of the internet pushing back on it. Oh, how Thug gonna feel about this? Oh man, what's going on? How they gonna? And I'm saying, damn, these people must ain't never been in no real shit. See, it's a bunch of people that's commenting on a form of his jump shot that ain't never went to the league. See, you can't listen to that never went to the league telling you about how to form your jump shot. You got to get advice about your jump shot from people that actually been in the league, man. Unfortunately, we all share the internet. So I thought it would just be Fulton County that was upset, but I was wrong. Now, let me tell you what happened. If you got a rational mind and you got a boss mindset, what you noticed over the last couple of years while Thug and Lucci was in jail is that they both crashed the whip. They both kind of got in a situation where because of this beef, they turned the city upside down, and not with violence, just with ended up in a RICO on both sides. And that's usually what beef does. That's why they say beef isn't good for business. And that's why I know it's big homies in the backdrop saying, yo, beef ain't good for business. You see what they just done, and they trying to do it some more. Y'all keep this shit up. They gonna keep trying this shit. So we gotta intervene and stop this shit. Even if they ain't gonna do nothing to each other, man, they gonna try to paint it a certain way every time they get a chance in court. And only a fool will watch what Thug went through, watch what Lucci went through, and still walk around waving that flag. If you didn't learn nothing from them, see, this is something I know. A fool will burn the whole city down, dry all the money up, and claim victory standing in the ashes of the city he burnt down. Burn the entire city down. He don't even got nowhere to stay, nowhere to get no groceries, gas, all the essentials. He don't got nowhere to get nothing, and he'll claim victory. And he'll claim victory of a false war. It's a hollow war. I always remember the universe is in control, homie. The debts collect themselves. Say, bro, you don't owe the universe nothing that it ain't gonna get from you. Remember that. Whatever you owe the universe, it's gonna get from you, homie, one way or another. So I salute this. And I understand it's too much money to be made for beef to be involved unnecessarily. Now, if it's a necessary issue, you dig? But unnecessary beef dry the money up. It's self-sabotage. It's hollow victories. It's worth nothing. And see, what you don't want to do, I tell people, you don't want to salt your own field. Let me explain what that means. Let me put you up on some game, right? When I say you don't want to salt your own field, I'm finna put you down. Back in the day when they used to go to war, right? Peep game. Back in the day when they used to go to war, whoever won the war, they'll scatter salt on the defeated land fields. And guess what it'll do? It'll make the soil infertile. You don't want to salt your own field. See, salt prevents plants from growing. So this was meant to destroy the enemy's ability to rebuild, form, or survive economically. So you don't want to salt your own field and make it where you can't even sustain. It's so much beef every time you pop out. It's too much money being made, P. Let's stick to the money on, P. It's overly rich. Everybody having whatever car they want. Is driving what they want. Come on, P. Let's stick to the money. Let's make sure we get to the money, P. Only people that was benefiting from these gentlemen beefing in public was Fulton County. Fulton County district attorney was the only people that was benefiting from that. Everything else was detrimental. And again, this gonna take more than just a concert to get over, but this is a step in the right direction. This is something that I can see making Atlanta great again and helping make the South great again. Because without Atlanta, the South don't have the stronghold that it once had. I was talking to Doughboy about this. Atlanta used to be in a situation where it'd be 4-5 producers in one session. Metro Boomin did the keys, 808 did the drum, Zaytoven did the piano, And you know, this is just a lack of a better, this is just an example, but that camaraderie, that community, that infrastructure that was built is what made the millions of dollars. It literally built the industry and made everybody come running, because you didn't have to leave Atlanta for a beat, a hook, a verse, the superstar, the mid-tier rapper, the low-end rapper that had the streets on lock, the producer that was mid-tier, the platinum producer, the diamond producer, all of that was in the same spot. Now, there's a divide anytime that people start getting into the beef. And again, you saw in your own land. You got to be able to sustain economically. And I tell the young that beefing is bad for business. And the river don't care who it drown. The river don't care who it drown. It can be the sinner, the saint, or the man that just simply couldn't swim. But it has no remorse on who it drowns. So when you take these hollow victories, or I'm the toughest, or I'm the biggest, and it really ain't about nothing, you really just, it's detrimental to your family. And so I want to make sure that I salute Baby. I make sure I salute Lucci. And salute Thug, because anybody that think Thug didn't have nothing to do with that, you dumb. And I'm just gonna put it flat out. I ain't even gonna try to dress it up or articulate it or raise the vocabulary in any way. I'm just gonna say it just like what it is. You're dumb. See, a wise man fights to end the war, but a fool fights to win the war. You've been fighting to win the war instead of to end the war. Ending the war bring the money back. Ending the war bring the millions and millions back to the area. And we can't listen to these dudes who never been involved in anything in their life. We can't let them dictate or drive us down an alleyway that's gonna run us off a cliff. We just not able to do that. And the false bravado of the black man, and that's another reason why I'm so proud that they're able to take a step in the right direction, is because the black man's ego is out of control. Just the other day, I was online. I get into a back and forth with one of these that I know bullshit than playing. Like, I done literally got the backdrop on the guy, and his whole town say he playing. You know what I'm saying? That dude ain't finna do nothing. He got some cousins, so this nigga ain't talking about anything. Like, as far as on my level, like, he may be talking about something to y'all, but everybody who know where I come from and stand for and what I've been through and the things I've overcame and the demos I put down, the demonstrations I've put down, they've always told me, Loon, stay away from that. That ain't gonna do nothing but rage bait you, and you gonna crash out with him, because his family and them gonna call the police, and it's a bunch of things. But I get online and he SMD, and he like a little that say it to everybody. Just say SMD to everybody, because what I know about men who haven't been in the environments where your words have consequences attached to them is they willy-nilly with the mouth. They go to popping it and talking it because ain't nobody made them pay for the things they're saying. See, if you've been in them close corners, if you've been in those situations where you can't run and go to the house, you can't live way out in the suburbs where don't nobody know, you got to pay for what come out of your mouth. You got to say what you say and then come out the house where them that you said it about. But they've been able to duck and hide behind this internet. And so he ended up telling me some shit that I took disrespect for, and he rage baited me. And I'm on there bullshitting with him and like, yo, this man, dude, it's a real problem playing with me, bro. Like, and I ain't saying that like I'm the hardest dude in the world, because I ain't the hardest dude in the world. One thing I do know, I ain't going for nothing, and I won't lay down. You got to show me I'm one of them. And bring me somebody say I ain't one of them. Man, you got to show me. I don't care nothing about your people. I don't care nothing about who you done it to prior to me. Boy, you gonna have to show me. You gonna have to show me. But these men don't have the wherewithal to bag up the things they're saying. You know, in the bee colony, the queen bee is imperative. It's paramount. It's very important. And while I could talk about the Queen Bee, I'm going to spend a little time on the male bee. Because I think it's a parallel to what some of these individuals on the internet and in this culture, in particular, that's leading some of this culture, they have the traits of the male bee. If you know anything about the bee colony, the male bee doesn't make honey. He doesn't protect the hive. His whole existence is to That's all the male bee do. He just want to run around. He don't do nothing else. He after that, he dies. He big, he flies, but his purpose is limited. He don't do nothing but And so a lot of these men nowadays, they show up for the pleasure, but they vanish for the pressure. These niggas ain't having no labor, no legacy, nothing to stand on. They ain't never been a man of their word. They do their people wrong. But they'll get on the internet and try to tell how to navigate through beef or who's snitching. That's why I really stopped talking about the who snitching thing. Too many suckers talking about who's snitching. Too many suckers talking about who's snitching. You ain't never even been arrested for nothing. You talking about who's snitching. How we came up. They like to throw that in there. You know how we came up. How did we come up? Yeah, you didn't come up like I can. How did we come up? Because you keep hollering how we came up. How did we come up? I know how I came up. Shortly after the show, Young Thug posted a picture of Lil Baby. Kind of let the people know that, I kind of co-sign what Wham is doing. And I'm not sure why people would even think that. Number one, it ain't that valuable for Lil Baby to bring YFN Lucci out without having a conversation with Thug. What? That don't even make sense. That don't even make sense. So, what I do know is that Thug was in communication with Baby. This isn't just something that came out of osmosis. I want to be clear on that. Hopefully that makes sense for people. I mean, of course, there's limited things that could be said, but as it pertains to Fulton County, I do want you guys to know, right? In particular, the district attorney, the police, and any organization that's investigating crime. Hopefully this lets y'all know that there is a lane to reconciliation, and we could turn conflict into collaboration if it's done right, and as if it's done by the bosses. See, the bosses can do this. Now, there's a lot that has happened. But we salute Baby, we salute Thug, we salute Lucci, and I want to see more of this. I want to see us coming together more. I want to see us collaborating more. I've talked to Eastside Jody about interviewing Lucci. And so we'll see what happens. I also want to say this too before we get out of here. There was a lot of people that held Young Thug down while he was in jail. I want to be sure that 300 Entertainment understands that, and they're not overlooking some of those individuals that took day in and day out covering his trial, helping shape those narratives. I see Thug reaching out to a lot of streamers, and I can appreciate that because they do have a wave. But there's a ground level of this that I think has to also be respected. In the event, that something like that happens, the streamers are not in a position to be able to explain a case law, deal with evidence and things of that nature. They wasn't even speaking about Young Thug being arrested at all. And so when I see Thug's label reaching out to all of the streamers to send them promo things for the album, I'm just hoping that they're not making a very valuable mistake and looking over a lot of the people who actually were 10 toes down about Jeffrey Williams when he went to jail. I think it's imperative to dance with who brought you to the party. And we just seen with Wale. Wale runs up on Cenat. Cenat doesn't know who he is. And then Wale runs back up on him and said, you got me looking crazy. How I got you looking crazy? Because I didn't know you. Yo, family, I didn't know you. Even if I forgot you, I'm not in the music like that where I'm going to be running around memorizing rap. I don't think Wale would have done that to me. I think because that's Cenat, and Cenat is that good person, he a good dude, he's a young man, they'll run up on him. If I seen Wale and I was recording and I say, man, who was that nigga? I don't think Wale would approach me in BET like, yo, you got me looking crazy, Loon. I don't think he would have done that. And I say that respectfully. But what we're seeing is rappers running behind streamers who really have no interest in them. When I went on Brilliant Idiots literally 2 years ago, I told people that streaming audience does not have purchasing power. I said this. I was 2 years ahead of it. But you would say, Loon, how they don't have purchasing power, but they're making money? Well, because Twitch is owned by Amazon, and there's an in-app purchase that doesn't require for a sign-up or a credit card to be used. For a large number of the subscriptions, you can get an Amazon Prime and then get you a Twitch subscription, which then gives them some money by way of Amazon. But it's not an extra transaction. Now, this may not make sense to people on the ground level, but those people who understand the business element of it, you understand what I just said. Again, Twitch is owned by Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, which almost every household in America has Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, it allows you to have a free subscription on Twitch. Now, that's different from when you hear Cenat or Speed or Aiden or one of them say, such and such with the 100 gifted. Thank you for the 20 gifted. These are people that's actually spending money. But when you see that number and it says 120,000 subscribers a month, there's a large portion of them that is subscribed by way of Amazon. So it's inflation, but it's legal inflation, and there is money being made. But that don't mean they're gonna come off of that platform and go buy your ticket or stream your music or buy your music or buy your merch. Why do you think Cenat didn't leave Twitch when Kick asked him for when Kick tried to offer him $25-30 million for that Mafia-thon stream? It's because that's a short-lived project. And over here, we locked in with these folks. We got a good thing going, and we might as well stay right here where we gonna make guaranteed money without anyone having to pull out their credit card. And mama, can I get the credit card? I want to subscribe to Cenat. They don't even have to do that. They can just say, mama, you got Amazon Prime. And because most mothers or families see Twitch as a gaming platform, not how they see YouTube. Even though YouTube is cool to most people, but it's not toxic like rap music. So they don't see Twitch like they see rap music, right? So most mothers and fathers look at Twitch as a gaming platform. So, oh yeah, my kids want to do something with gaming. Yeah, you can go ahead and subscribe to that. They don't know they're subscribing to their favorite streamer, and he's getting paid off of that by way of Amazon. So I hate to see rappers chasing these streamers down. They're gonna be interested in what they're interested in. That you cannot make them go get with you. Even if you do a stream with them, they're gonna do it. They're gonna benefit from it, and then they're not gonna play your music next week or the week after. When you got real fans and real platforms, their audience really enjoys you and appreciates you. This is a totally different thing. There's a reason why when me and Baby sat down, it did what it did. That album sold 237,000 the first week when I did the rollout interview. 237,000 units the first week when me and Lil Baby did that rollout interview. And we're going to do another interview for Dominique. Whether it's rollout, whether whatever, but we going to sit down again, and I guarantee it's going to penetrate culture because it's me. And it's bruh and my audience and his audience, and the way I'm gonna get into it, right? There's a way to do this. It's a dance with this thing. You gotta sit with the motherfuckers that know how to bring it out, that know how to make the people feel where you coming from. I always said that, and I fuck with the streaming niggas. I'm gonna get with Aiden Ross when they come down and do the fight. But there ain't a scenario where I'm gonna be chasing them around. And I hate to see rappers look like they're chasing the streamers. It's no way I would've went to jail, got out, and the first thing I done from a label perspective was to send the streamers and things like that something for promo. Bro, you had a whole community. I'm talking Cuff Boys, Thugger Daily, nigga. That listen, it was YouTube channels birthed from that. Now, granted, some of them guys made money, but you really had people fighting for the narrative. I talked to Brian Steele several times. Me, Loon, I talked to Brian Steele several times about certain angles and certain things that were going on and how this wasn't what it was portrayed to be. And here's here's why. Like, these things are extremely like valuable when a nigga in jail. But I know it's the white people at the label that's making these kind of decisions. Let's send the streamers all this shit. Cause I heard one of the rappers, I think it was Chicken P, he said his label told him to go miss his back end to go be on Black Boy Mac stream. And again, salute to the streamers. There's no way I can hate on them young niggas. I salute them young niggas. But I'm just telling the rap niggas, I'm just telling all of the rappers and other people to make sure you do this thing in the right way and benefit from it in the right way. If nothing else, have somebody in your crew that's a streamer. When you go sit with Kai, make him ingest it. See, this kind of language, they not even telling y'all. They not even letting y'all know these kind of things can happen. And you can actually benefit from it as well, homie. One thing that ain't happening is Kai having 300,000 people on the stream and they're going to stream your music. Because if they were streaming your music, you will see the number rise in real time. I've seen people do an opening day stream with some of the biggest names in the streaming culture and still sell 50,000, 60,000. It's not moving the needle for rap. I can't speak on, for Prime Energy drinks or for Celsius or DoorDash and things like that. I can't speak on that. But from a business perspective, the rappers are gonna lose some of their fan base by disregarding the people that's actually tapped in with the people that got purchasing power. There's a dance happening. These labels are always late to the party, or they're always doing something wrong. So this is Big Loon. I'm telling you that. Make sure you keep your eyes open. And we're gonna talk about DDG and Halle in the next episode. So click on the next video. Love.